We're not in the studio anymore. Long day, ladies and gentlemen. I'd love to hook this whole thing up to my Polk audio and, well, Bang & Olufsen system. It would be unbelievable. And I'm headed that way. We're clearing stuff out as we go. Alright. Y'all let me know if y'all can see the screen or hear what we're saying. There's no live button like there usually is. Franco, can you see? Yep. Alright, guys. 5x5? Alright, let's get going. Alright, God bless you guys. Alright, so my $500 chair broke into pieces, and last night, that's what happened when y'all thought I might have spilt my drink or something. It just broke. I have no idea. The hard plastic on it broke. And so I carried that out to the garbage. Weighs like about 100 pounds. So I got one of those outdoor chairs and put 2 pillows in it. Well, I ordered another chair, right? Well, I kept twisting and turning because my studio's, it's 3 walls. 3 different walls of stuff that I have to use, and that mofo broke. And one of these outdoor chairs you buy at Academy, you can put your drink in them. They fold up real nice, going back to your truck. One of the steel things broke and went through my side, and I was on the ground with a steel. I don't know what to call it, steel whatever, in my side. Let's just say it's been a long day, ladies and gentlemen. Those speakers you hear are from a 2008 computer. I've gotten all my computers out right now. Those, obviously, I haven't lost anything. I've got all my equipment and everything else, but I am not in my studio anymore. I'm on my couch, and it's the coffee table. So I found some speakers from one of my older computers and hooked them up, and I can't do, just for a day or two, I can't do, hey, Cory Booker said he's going to kill everyone right before. I can't show you what they're saying and play that. It's just not going to be clear enough. So I thought it would be a good night to go over all of the earthquake activity, all the volcanic activity, and all the space weather activity. Now, I've got a real problem with Ben over at SO. I'm the only one that knows what and who Ben is. Deutschsense knows. He did a report on it as well. But in 2014, Ben was an attorney, and he owned a company called E3 Viral Entertainment. He tried to hide this until I exposed him. He got a Department of Defense contract to manipulate you guys about the sun. And they only canceled his contract in December of this year. That's when he started only answering questions for money after he picked up his daughter in the school line. I mean, the whole thing was embarrassing. That's when his morning videos went from really awesome with all new information, great everything, to some iPhone that wouldn't even focus. So after how many years was that? He had a good run. His contract, I actually showed it to everyone, and Deutsche Sense, of course, stole it from me and showed it to everyone like he always does. It was, I think, $5.1 million a year, and it started in 2014. That's how he built the bus. That's how he built that's why everything fell apart. That's why there is no ranch. Suspicious Observers Ranch. That's why the quality of the show sucks so bad. That's why he only comes on and answers questions after he picks up his daughter in line. And, someone asked me about this today. That's the only reason I'm telling y'all. Now, he did teach a lot of truth. Let me say that. I believe in the electric universe. And now, although he was being paid by the DOD, y'all didn't think that he made enough money to buy that bus, move to Arizona, and buy a mansion in the first 6 months of his show, did you? Remember how angry he got during December? That's because the DOD canceled his contract. Remember how he only talked to people that would super chat him since then, pretty much, at 3:30? All that has to do the same shit, right? His wife said, go get a job. He's a licensed attorney, okay? He owned something called E3 Viral Marketing. And, his lifelong dream was to propagate for the Department of Defense. The only reason I even bring this up is because some people on Facebook finally figured it out. And I said, yeah, I did a 21-minute video about it. It went viral, and so did Deutsche Senses, and they took them down. And then they blocked the Wayback Machine. Everything bin was blocked on the Wayback Machine. Well, I've got it all on my computer. Of course, my life's pretty much already on the line, as we all know. Anyway, he has taught a lot of truth, but those 2 and 3 minute videos at 5 in the morning, he was being handed a script. And the reason they were so professionally filmed is because they were being professionally filmed, right? If y'all saw, since December 14th, he puts his phone on a tri-stand in front of him. The whole thing's turned sad. It really has turned sad. And he's got such an ego, obviously on steroids, but he's got such an ego that my Facebook friends started talking about him, and they didn't know any of this. They were just saying how much they hate the guy as a person. So I decided to educate everyone into a little something. And y'all are welcome to ask. Deutsch will probably say, well, the U.S. military won't let me say. It's kind of shit Deutsch says when he steals shit from me. Some guy today said, your link doesn't work. Can you update your link so I can steal your story? I mean, these people are all just nuts, right? I do the work. And, YouTube won't allow me to go viral anymore, although they used to. I would do 2 million views a month. This month, I think we did 260,000 views. How embarrassing. There's only one reason. It's because I'm on lockdown, right? Now, I'm not going to bitch about it. I'm going to keep pushing through. I think it's so funny to watch Ben get angry at people because he lost that contract. And they were all talking about it. I had to tell them the truth. YouTube took my video down. Of course, I have a copy of it. I can't play it here. Y'all need to ask Deutschland. Did you do a video about suspicious observers, Ben? And is he on a DOD contract or was he? It's been canceled. So, those are all facts. That's why I'm not afraid to say them. I've got the DOD contract in my computer in case he ever wants to sue me. We'll talk about the contract. It was from E3 Entertainment. And we'll talk about the different steps that he went through from 2014 till when he was let go this Christmas in 2024. 10 years. It's a good run, man. At $5.1 million, and I don't know if it increased, but that was a good run. And you know what? I don't think he taught a lot that was wrong. Right now, the reason everyone's mad at him is he's teaching everyone that these space people, which I don't even think they're doing the polar orbit right now. I think that's just all for show, right? Elon Musk, all for show. He says that they're all going to DIE, if we get hit by a geomagnetic storm, which in fact we're about to be hit by one. I already showed y'all plasma if y'all are watching me. So we're under a solar storm, which is protons and electrons. We're under a lot of shit, is all I can say. We're under a polar cap absorption event, which is ionized protons entering our North Pole, the hole in our North Pole and the hole in our South Pole, frying us like eggs. YouTube told me that I couldn't say that again. Frying us like eggs. They gave me a warning, that, and they went right to me saying that, hey, if we're being fried like eggs, why can't I tell my people we're being fried like eggs? Doesn't make any sense to me. Let me see what he has to say. I might do something more. Yeah, I did fall on the floor for victory. That doesn't bother me. And I am big. If I bitch slapped you, you'd fly through my house. And I'm a professional bitch slapper. And I can see you're a little bitch, so, I mean, we'd make a good team, right? A good team. I bitch slap you, you fly through the house and hit the wall, right? Excuse me, but yes, that's right. All right, let's start off, guys, tonight. Shall we see who this guy that we've never heard of, Welfare Free Victory, is, or should we just blow it off? We'll blow it off. All right, let's start off, guys, with how many volcanoes are erupting around the globe. I believe the highest we've seen is 81. The lowest we've seen this year is 38. What a difference 1 year makes. I mean, what a difference. I'm going to do my very best on counting these, and I'll pull out some solids when I get there. But hey, you guys, try to guess. These are major and minor eruptions all around the globe, but these are only the ones above sea level. And remember, only 6% of the globe is above sea level, i.e. land. The rest of the volcanoes are underwater, and so we're not going to be privy to the methane being released by them. Although I'm sure our satellites and our governments are, we're not going to be privy to that. All these are at least islands, volcanic islands, or major continents. So I'll get to counting. And I'd love if y'all would all guess, everybody involved. 40. $60. 75, 6, 77, 78. So I'm right now going with 78. I probably miss one. Probably miss one. I wish I had some gummies. I've never actually had a gummy. Isn't that wild? Living in Texas, even traveling for oil and gas. Never had a gummy, but I wish I had one. My dad had all the edibles, and he told me he was coming back from, I remember we had grow houses in Oregon. We're diversifying my old company. He said that he ate them all getting on the plane. He said that he almost tripped out on the plane, man. So he had a bunch of edibles left over when he was leaving Oregon to come back to Texas, and he decided he didn't want to waste them because they're all expensive, and he ate them all. And that's about a 4-hour flight. I know the flight well because I have some wells in northern San Joaquin Valley or Sacramento Valley. So he ate them all. And boy, I've heard stories about that flight. He said it was all he could do not to get arrested. Not to get arrested. Right? I mean, he ate several of them, though. Cookies, gummies, the whole nine. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? God bless you guys. Yes, James fell on the floor, you know. Being a big guy, you need a big chair, and most of these chairs have 200-pound weight limits. Well, that doesn't even come close, man. I need 2 of those. We've only had one earthquake right here near Prince Rupert. Probably part of the Cascadia subduction zone here. Some big quakes up here in Washington. We'll see if they appear. But nothing's occurring here according to the Canadian government. Nothing in these salt mines either. Zoom in and make sure. There's a salt mine here, and there's another salt mine down here somewhere. So, all right, let's see what's going on major like. We have the, EGIK volcano. And with that, we have a 5.1 magnitude earthquake. That's going to be Spur awakening there. And this is going to be the Great Sitkin. And its friend, Corvin, awakening here. So everything in yellow is quote-unquote awakening. Everything in orange or red is under a major eruption. Now, we did have a 6.3 about an hour and 41 minutes ago. And I was going to call that out, but I knew I was going live because of my sound setup from my couch, right? Wish I could kick my feet up, but that's not how it works. I'm bending my back over, blah, blah, blah. So, I ain't complaining. Never complain. If you got something to eat and you got a shelter, don't complain. We don't want to hear about it. We've got a 5.1 here, Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Up in Iceland, we have one awakening, one in major eruption, and none of these are the major volcano that erupted and took out the biggest geothermal plant in the world last year. And if y'all knew anything about Iceland, and most of you guys do if you'll watch me, there's over 20,000 active volcanoes, this little area right here. So, can imagine it gets pretty hairy, or it can get pretty hairy. We have the Azores Islands. It's going to be part of Portugal, I'm pretty sure. And then down here, Cape Verde. These are volcanoes awakening. And then, amazingly, we're going to have lots of volcanic activity where the next great earthquake is going to come from. It's going to be a 10.0, which we've never had. We've had a 9.6. I did a report. That was out of Chile. Haiti killed the most people, but the one out of Chile was by far the strongest. What's the difference between a 9.6 and 9.7? The 9.7 is 10 times stronger than the 9.6. So when you're in these type of numbers, it gets scary as hell, okay? We should all feel blessed that, I think 171,000, am I right? Give me a number, we'll check it out. In Burma, it might be 171, but we'll check out Burma. That could have been a major, major situation with that 7.7 that hit the other day. We have Sicily lighting up. Look, there's a huge gap between the plate tectonics here, and of course there's volcanoes that are trying to make that gap happen. That is Campi is the most active volcano, they say, in the world. And Stromboli, I've heard of Stromboli, like as in the pasta. And that's awakening, and this is in Sicily. Etna, of course, Etna. What we have is a huge quake boundary here, we have a huge plate tectonic boundary here that's not fulfilled. This area here, the Aegean Sea, every dot you see is a volcano. And y'all going to see how that works out. Like it or not, y'all going to see how that works out. Like it or not. All right. So let's get back and make sure we didn't miss any decent sized ones. This is Burma here. Today we had another 5.0 right where the 7.7 happened. They've been swarming. When I turn them all on, they haven't quit moving. And why is that, James? Well, it's because see the plates that are in black here and then red here, then black here. Black means that's where they think the plate might form. This red line coming through the Himalayas here, that's a real plate tectonic boundary. So, can actually look down into, let's see, a 5.7 there. And I'm not very familiar, but we're going to call that Indonesia, all right? I know Jakarta's over here. Call that Indonesia. Running up from Taiwan, where there's no connection to the plate here, up into Japan, where we have 1, and then 2 awakening, 3 in minor eruption, 4 right here. And of course, they just finished their brand new nuclear power plant. This is no shit. Right here. Right there in that inlet. I mean, could they pick a worse place? I'm just wondering. If I was someone in Japan, I was a geologist, I would say, hey, look, nuclear is probably not our thing, right? Probably not our thing. So that was the 5 minutes ago. See if there's anything else. I'm going to light it all up, so we're going to see what's going on here. After we light it all up. All right. Look at Iceland up there. Just ready to rumble, guys. Remember, 22,000 volcanic cones in Iceland ready to rumble. And you can see Mount Spur. They gave it 1 week to erupt. It has not erupted. Regularly, if Mount Spur erupts, Mount Hayes will erupt here. Then, all through, we're going to do the U.S. with the USGS. All through Central America from Mexico, all through Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, all these volcanoes, nothing but magma movement under them, and all the PM 2.5, the deadliest particulate known to man, is moving up into the Central Plains and Gulf Coast states here. We've got Haiti, Dominican Republic, also back on fire. Then we've got Venezuela into Colombia, into Peru, and then into the Peruvian-Chilean wedge. I thought that this would be so much more active than it is, but we have one major, one minor, another major, one awakening. It looks like there's probably two right there. Well, yeah, there's two. It's a major eruption, minor, minor. I really thought by this time, hey, Jama, I really thought by this time that the Peruvian-Chilean wedge would be lit up. I really did. Now we're going to bounce over, and this is not looking that bad at all. This is the best that the GNC has looked, although we do have that volcano that's trying to awaken there. Lately we've been having 100, 200 earthquakes in the GNC a day, so this is beauty. Cyprus. Who owns Cyprus? The CIA. That's where all the servers are kept, right there. And that means almost everything y'all do, servers in Cyprus. We stole it during the 3-day war when Turkey and Greece went after it for 3 days, and Turkey whipped their ass. All our motive is to get in there and steal Cyprus. What a strategically awesome location, right? All right, now this is going to mean a fucking thing in Germany. That 3-2 doesn't mean anything. This is, they call it the Netherlands, nowhere near the Netherlands. You can see Iceland does mean something. We're not seeing anything under all these volcanoes in Africa here. We're seeing that same storm, volcanic, and this is going to get worse. Our plates continue to charge because of the polar absorption event. All the protons and electrons charging our plates right now. So if you think this is going to stop, we're going to have a huge quake tonight or tomorrow. Huge. And there's not going to be a damn thing you can do about it. Around Indonesia, you see all the volcanoes awakening and all the magma under them, i.e. you can look at the volcanic movement and see how much magma is moving all the way from Malaysia into Indonesia, around to the Philippines, up to Taiwan, where we have a plate disconnection, and I will show you all that in case y'all haven't. And then if y'all don't watch my films, this is Zealandia rising right here, and this is going to be, it should be White Island volcano, but wait, White Island? White Island volcano. Why do you have two of them named the same thing? And why are you blocking out everything happening in Murtaugh Station? Why is Google blocking out everything that we should be able to see here? There's something really, really wrong going down there, okay? Really wrong. That's 6.3. That's actually on a plate boundary that comes through here. Hawaii, we've got, I think that is Kilauea, right? Kilauea. Mauna is behaving. And, well, looks like we can bounce, right? Let's bounce. All right. Back to the USA. Got one decent-sized quake and a swarm right here, a 5.1. Tsunami warning. I did check it, or I would have done a report earlier. No buoys went into event mode. This goes right into Mount Spur and Mount Hayes. And hey, when they light up, regularly we see down here, what do we see? St. Helens, Rainier, Hood, Adams, they all light up as well. You can see this huge swarm around Anchorage. And I'll show you where Anchorage is, if anyone cares. That's Anchorage right there. Over 50% of the population in Alaska lives in that little speck right there. That little speck right there. All right, moving over to take a... Well, we got some weird quakes here. Gosh, that's almost right on top of me. I didn't feel anything. These are going to be drilling quakes. See the 1 kilometer. I know that we're doing a lot of fracking in this area, trying to repurpose old oil fields into new oil fields. This is all fracking through here. This is fracking Oklahoma, fracking here. We don't see anything in Wawa Springs here. We see a lot down here. There's one of the 4 places that the plates don't connect in the Western world is right here. This is the Sea of Cortez and Salton Sea. And if y'all notice, the plate stops here and starts here. And eventually, that's LA. This is the U.S.-Mexican border here. This is Tijuana. This is San Diego. Lampole District, OC, you'll probably know it as. I call the North American Pacific Plate Boundary the North American Pacific Plate Boundary. Although I do have a PS5 over here, and I play San Andreas. So it's really the San Andreas fault as well. Now, most of you guys know, if you've been following me, that this is going to be your new plate boundary, right? Right? Does anyone remember what that's called, except for me? It's going to be your new plate boundary because most of the Central Valley here in California is 18 to 22 feet below sea level. 18 to 22 feet below sea level, which means Walker Lane, the Walker Lane fault line here, which is actually part of the Sierra Nevada volcanic range, which is, everyone says, no, James, Lake Tahoe's not a volcano. My friend that works at the marina there and has for 15 years, he says, well, we're constantly picking up rented pontoon boats because methane bubbles will make them sink. What spews off methane bubbles? And why would you have a lake at the top of a mountain here? Use your head now, if you got one. I know a lot of people don't. All right, this is Mount Cobb. It's owned by Calpine. It's a geothermal unit. They produce enough electricity for all of San Francisco. Most of the Palo Alto, like as in DigiWorld, most of Sacramento, most of Oakland, and even Paul Pelosi's wine country, right? And this is part of what's called the Clear Lake Volcanic Range. This is Clear Lake. There's always a lake at the top of the volcano, just like in Yellowstone, right? This is Clear Lake, the city over here. And if you go to work here, the most I've ever seen in one day is 89 earthquakes. And I have seen a 5.8. 5.8 here. If you go to work here, you got to be a bad Mojambi. Imagine a 5-day work week, you might see 300 or 400 earthquakes. If y'all never been through an earthquake, it's a life-changing experience. Even if your building doesn't fall down, your equilibrium is off for, well, I'm sure it gets better with practice, but it's life-changing, trust me. I drilled 72 wells in California. I've been through 4 or 5, 3.5, 3.7s. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone else kept walking around the banks. I was there doing banking as always. They kept walking around the banks like nothing was happening. I I had to put both hands and a knee down on the floor because I was that dizzy or disoriented. It's a lot like a bunch of diseases, but it makes you feel where you don't know which way is up or down. And to get to the ground was the best way for me to recover. Now, yes, I kind of got used to them, kind of. And these are in the 3s, 3.5, 3.7s. But when I looked up, everyone was laughing at me. They were all laughing at me. I won't lie at the bank, right? And they just kept their day going. We were drilling right near this area. And I'm on one knee and two hands, right, going, wow, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? And they're like, he's not from here. Damn right I'm not, and I don't want to be. All right, so we're going to guess how many earthquakes popped off on Cobb Mountain, it's a calpine geothermal unit. It's got 19 wells drilled into Cobb Mountain, the biggest volcano in Clear Lake volcanic range, and it produces more energy than 5 dams would that were on, the biggest river in the world, the Colorado River. All right, so y'all want to take a guess? I'll take a shot at it. 48, Tiff. Tiff, 48. I'm going to go lower. I don't know why. Tiff, can you do that? I'm going lower. I was going lower. I'm going 38 then. I hope everyone takes a guess and I'm not going to zoom in anymore. I want to show y'all some pictures I want to show you how this all works, really. Geysers Geothermal Plant is the name of it. I thought it was funny when the guy that lives right there, the Earth Master, said, there's another channel saying there's geysers there. There's no geysers. Well, just because he said that, I went and looked it up, and there's 2 hotels on Cobb Mountain that have heated geysers. There really are. I mean, he lives within 100 miles of there. But I was talking about the name. That's his IQ is about a 10. About a 10. Geysers is a geothermal plant that's now owned by Calpine. It was started in, I believe, 1926, 1927, 1922, excuse me. Now we have total potential up to 19 wells going into the magma. And what does the magma do? It creates steam, and they release the steam. And what it does is they use like a 10-speed bike wheel. Let's see if we get lucky. I doubt it. Anyway, for some reason they don't want y'all. We got one right there. So this is the museum. This is not the ones being used now. They're much bigger. So what they do is they compress the gas, and then they expand it. So once it's compressed, it becomes more powerful, and once they expand it, it doubles, just like a 10-speed bike here. And these are on each drill bit. I can't believe we're getting a decent picture of this. It's amazing. But they have 19 of those wells drilled. It was originally drilled with 7 of them. And we're gonna take that one off up there. Can I get a number? 36. What do you mean can't see the pics good, Tiff? Well, Robert, what did I guess? 38? Tiff, what do you mean? Are they blurring it out? I don't put anything past YouTube. YouTube has no rules anymore, man. A completely rogue, run by an Indian, not an American Indian, a Middle Eastern Indian, completely rogue. They should all be jailed. We have guarantees here in the United States that forbid them for doing, especially because it's a U.S. company, forbid them for doing what they do to us. And Trump hasn't done shit. Pam Bondi, nothing. Any arrests so far? None. Are there going to be any arrests? No, they're going to arrest people for keying cars. That's where their mind is. And they think that you people are so stupid you'll fall in line and say, yes, we're arresting terrorists now for keying cars. When in fact, this is all just a look here, not there. Forget whatever we promised because it ain't going to happen. Trump did an executive order and put who? Donald Barr. Donald Barr's son, even worse. Donald Barr's the one that hired Jeffrey Epstein to the OSS, which is the predecessor of the CIA. And you know how easy it is. If Trump doesn't know this, he doesn't even qualify to be president, right? All you gotta do is type in Donald Barr wiki, and you'll learn that real quick. And I knew this the day he hired Bill Barr, and I blew up, and everyone remembers that. I told y'all the scam is in. So look, of course, he's Bill Barr's dad, OSS, look, Office of Strategic Services, which is now the CIA. I taught y'all that they move into colleges to recruit or move people. Columbia, then the Dalton School. And look, come down here. After I've turned them out so much, like little jailhouse bitches, they changed all the wording and everything. And this is the best they could do. He was headmaster of the Dalton School from 64 to 74. For a brief time. At the end of his tenure as headmaster, disgraced financier Jeff Epstein was employed as a math teacher. What they took out is he didn't have a degree, a high school or college degree in math. It is unclear whether Barr had anything to do with his hiring. That's not what it used to read, is it? Now, look, he went on to write a science fiction novel about a planet ruled by oligarchs who engaged in child sex slavery. This is Donald Barr. So not only did Trump hire Bill Barr after he was already the Attorney General for Bush Sr., the person he swore he was going after, right? It's all right here, and there's nothing they can do. They can't hide it anymore. These people are all about to go to jail. If I got to get my handcuffs and start arresting them myself, I've had enough. I personally have had enough. We're between 7 and 8 billion, from what I understand, and falling. What's your point, Frank? I'm the only one that seems to do anything about anything. Yes, Patel's no good. Everyone from India that I've ever dealt with is no good. They actually, in their Hindu law, there's a means to an end clause. They're allowed to lie, cheat, steal, rape, do whatever they want to, as long as it gets them towards their end point. Whatever they manifest, right? or want, I guess is really the better word. This is the Garlock Fault here. Not a lot happening. I hate it when the Earthmaster points at these things. He doesn't even realize it. He doesn't even know what the Walker Lane fault line is because it's not named for him. You know, y'all think he's doing his PhD? He's trying to get an associate's degree right now. You don't think I know? Associate's degree to be a meteorologist. If y'all think anyone that's 400 or 500 pounds overweight is going to be hired as a meteorologist, y'all got another thing coming. Excuse me. The truth always hurts, doesn't it? Truth sucks. Just another waste of my good time. There's the lake. There's the caldera, Yellowstone for TIFF. For TIFF, right there on the caldera, a 0.7. And I wanted to hit this. This is going to be Mount. It's a problem here. Mount St. Helens. Look at the negative 1.2 kilometers. Now that's not going to be to the top of this peak, but that's going to be halfway up the caldera. And that's a real problem. We'll see what else is going on there. Luckily, this one's much deeper. None of them are overly large. This is called Mount Olympic. It's also a volcano right here. I mean, they're Angels, Washington. They're all awakening. They're all awakening at the same time. These are all fracking through here. We'll move on. All right. Although Canada sucks at what they do, and I mean in every way, not the people. The people have been taken over by Indians, right? I mean, let's just face it. By Indians. Just admit it. If you're going to do it, admit it. All right, so these fires have been put out. There are no fires that are active according to, and this is the government, .ca is the government. They don't share their information with anyone. This is the old USA. And remember, we discussed how the eastern part of the USA, why is it not loading? Eastern part of the USA was catching fire when it used to always be Washington, Oregon, California. We got red and yellow flags here. I see all of Texas on fire. I see this working into the Central Plains. I'm talking about Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa. This will all be on fire within 3-4 months. To see these larger fires over here, 3,000 acres, regularly 3,900 acres. These are just getting started. But we're going to see the fires in a different place this year. Although, hey, Washington, Oregon, and Cali might light up. We're going to see, just like I called it out perfectly 2 months ago, the Central Plains and Upper Central Plains are going to be on fire. That's what we call bread basket. That's where all of our food comes from. That's what's being set on fire right now. If you don't think that they're using satellites to do it, well, that just means you're stupid. Stupid is the best word I can find for you. All right, this is goes turned around the opposite way. These are all big fires. It's real time. Saw within the last 24 hours, you guys know. So they're seeing these are 1,000 acres or bigger. The bigger symbols. Everything else is an active fire. And we can see it's the east side of the U.S. We don't see much in Washington at all. We don't see much in Oregon. It's weird. We see stuff outside the volcanic area in Washington. Not in Oregon, really not in California yet. But we do see some stuff starting to develop around Wawa Springs, the biggest shield volcano in the world, the one that stopped the Colorado River from flowing 12 times. the reason that we know our past is because the Colorado River cut a hole through our past. It is so deep that they're able to see what happened for every year for the last several million years. I don't know if it's 100 million years or whatever it is, but they can tell by how much, well, one layer might be all ash. They can tell by how thick the layer is, how many years the volcanoes went off and there was constant ash. Now, the same thing can be achieved with a drill core bit, or drill core, right? You can take a drill core, and they do that often as well, but the Grand Canyon, simple. We had the water eat through all of the explosions or all of the volcanic explosions, and it shows you every year or every 5 years, or it shows you the time period. Hey, this had a lot of carbon monoxide. This had a lot of ash. This had a lot of growth here. This looks like it was a really healthy time. And as you look at the Grand Canyon and go down each layer, each inch means something. Now, I'm not going to convert inches for you guys right now, but I'm doing work on studying, and I'm still in my 3,600-year cycle. I believe the last cataclysm was 3,600 years ago, and I believe, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we're within 10 years, maybe 12 or less, of having that same type. It's cyclical. It's cyclical. In other words, something's causing it to happen every 3,600 years. All the governments in the world know exactly what's going on because of their drill cores, because of them studying canyons like the Grand Canyon. They know that every 3,600 years, they see ash that went on for 10, 20 years, enough to kill every living person and crop on Earth. They already see that. They can see it. It's plain. You can go to the Grand Canyon. You can actually do it and look at yourself. That would be the black layer. That's the ash. And they're spaced apart perfectly, which is about 3,600 years, which also you can use that playbook to figure out how far some of these other, the good times and the bad times were, using that increment between the heavy ash periods that blanketed the globe and killed off 99.9% of everything. You can use those same drill cores and the Grand Canyon, other deep canyons like that, to figure out exactly what's going on. And we're close. We're close. I wish I could save y'all, but I can't even save myself. All right. Interesting fact. Look at the East Coast versus the West Coast. Again, this is goes tonight. It's real time. Look, real time, 24 hours. Papa don't lie. I want to show y'all something. Y'all should be looking at the latitude up here. See when it gets to zero? Look, I'm going to get it right to zero just to prove it to y'all. There's no fires all the way across the earth. And this is going to be here. Look, there I am again. Look, here. Never can you have a fire of any sort on the equator. This is just something I've noticed. I don't know why. I guess that's keeping the rainforest alive, right? If anyone could tell me, watch my latitude, longitude, I'll get it right to zero here. There it is. 0.09, right? And that is true about the whole world. Our world, at least. Why can't there be fires at the equator? I don't have that answer. I wish I did, guys. All right, air quality. This looks like it sucks. Okay. Oh my God. It's off the charts. You walk outside in El Paso, Texas, you're a dead person. A 759. So the big circles are government buildings. And do y'all know that PM 2.5 is the deadliest particulate known to man? Deadliest air pollutant known to man. That's what I'm showing y'all right here. Most of this has worked its way from these, and we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it work its way out on Windy. From these volcanoes here from Mexico City down to Guatemala and moved in the Central Plains. But guys, when you start seeing shit like this, the closest volcanoes that are active right now, and they are active, and they are causing this right here, which is still deadly. Remember, just 10 parts per million increases your lung cancer percentage by 36%. 10. And this is how many? 759. And here we are, 217. So just 10 parts per million increase your lung. And they turned it off. Those gray ones are them turning it off, trying to hide their bullshit, right? And if you zoom in, here in El Paso, they turn that bitch off right there. The only reason this one might not be turned off, they try to turn it off, look at it. Try to turn it off, because it's actually in Juarez, which is Mexico, and they might have said, bullshit, we're keeping it on. Look at Lubbock. Remember, 128, they've turned it off. See the gray? They've turned it off. And just 10 parts per million increase your lung cancer percentage by 36%. And that's not according to me. It's according to WHO and the International Research Association of Cancer. Right? And that's why they hate me. Photographic memory, and I'm going to bring the receipts with me. That's why. All right. Moving along. We say, Daryl, you okay, bro? Lots of love out to Daryl right now, guys. All right, we're going to play this. Now, look, we're going to have 3 days of heavy tornadoes. The only reason I'm doing this right now is because tomorrow it starts, and we're going to have 3 days of heavy tornadoes. Did everyone hear me? So we have a subtropical low that they're pretending like is a high, which it's not. See it spinning, as you can see, counterclockwise. You can see it spin, right? And then all the moisture coming off the Gulf, right? And we'll put it into view, but we're also going to look at the warnings for tomorrow, the next day. The warnings are huge. Almost the whole eastern side of the country is looking for heavy tornadic activity. I will be live tomorrow with the tornadoes. It's actually going to last, and Spanky, if you're in Central Texas, you're fine. Actually going to last 3 days. Look at this system coming. It's spinning the wrong way to be a high pressure system. It's the biggest hurricane we've ever seen, because that's exactly what it is. Let's see if we can get hurricane winds. They're knots. How do you switch it from knots? Anyway, this is going to be the biggest hurricane that's ever hit. Period. And it's not hitting where it usually does. It's going to hit much lower into Washington State. When they become white, they're 120 mile per hour, just to FYI. Now, this is not a really good look at what's going on. This is the PM 2.5 I told y'all about. And y'all can see it's just doing exactly what I told y'all. It's coming from all the active volcanoes in Venezuela and Colombia and Ecuador. And then the Central America, which is we all know is part of North America. And then these volcanoes, that's 2 volcanoes. There's one here, there's one here. These volcanoes on the Baja. And when we put that in play, it fills up the Central Plains with deadly PM 2.5 that they don't want you to know about. And then they're going to strike a match. And by strike a match, I mean do it. They've got a plan. And this plan's going to develop quickly. I'm talking about a week or two, right? I was trying to move into a high-rise, real uppity high-rise, and get a little bit smaller spot. But something that all the restaurants were there, I didn't have to drive around, etc. And I've got about 45 days until I move into that high-rise. I hope I make it. I hope we make it that far. I really do. These are, of course, the volcanoes. They spew PM 2.5. Other things that spew the deadliest particulate known to man, wildfires. Other things, nuclear power plants. Other things, there's only 4 of them, heavy industrial. Now, we've been seeing sandstorms also spew PM 2.5, which is what we're seeing here, right? That's really not even in the list of things that can spew PM 2.5, but hey, if it's happening, we can't ignore it either, right? So the deadliest particulate known to man, and I already told y'all, just to get a reading here, 133. 133. Shouldn't it just be 33.3? That way we'll all know that you're telling everyone you're lying. So this is all being caused by, well, I don't know. We've got volcanoes down here. No nuclear power plants here. No fires going on here. They're saying that the sand itself is now creating PM 2.5, the finest particulate known to man, the most deadliest particulate known to man. All right, looks like I'm going to update this because this is a little bit old. Looks like we still have possibility, and we have supercells throughout Kansas here, guys, and in Nebraska. And tomorrow, this is going to light up like a Christmas tree. I need y'all to be really ready tomorrow. Not Spanky Cool, because Spanky lives in Central Texas. Not James Kaufman. But everyone from this line over, and I will show y'all some boundaries, have 3 days of, we're going to see probably around 200 tornadoes. That's a good guesstimate. 200 tornadoes. And how often am I wrong? I think y'all know the answer to that. Zero. So this is today, and there has been tornado spawn today. We've been real lucky. Tomorrow, look at this. See the red under the yellow? This is going to get, and look at that fake high pressure, upper level low pushing through with mixed precipitation and all this snow and heavy snow here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, skip a day, 5, 6, 7, 8, punch. That's what's about to happen here. We're in heavy tornado season, and this will be the worst tornado season that any of us have ever seen, ever. Can y'all see the red area below this? I mean, this goes from Texas, north of me. Spanky, I think you're okay. I know where you live. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, up into Wisconsin and Michigan. And hey, this is just tomorrow. And if you're in the yellow and red here, and you can see where you live, you know where you live, y'all are in some serious trouble. The real problem is we have another one coming. We have another one that's even more of a high, more of a fake high. And then look, then we're all the way into Thursday here. We're still seeing tornadoes, and look, low. Where's the high versus low causing this shit? It's a shit show is what it is. Let me see, Arkansas lit up, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. Guys, if y'all are in where the red and the yellow is, well, there's a good chance that y'all need to be ready to rumble. I did want to show y'all that whatever they tell you, CERN is off. But CERN reactivated on March 20th for some more testing. They actually got their permit today on something that's over 1,000 times bigger than CERN, Large Hadron Collider. The permit was approved. It goes through like 17 nations or 17 countries, and it got approved today. I mean, I was like, huh? What are y'all doing? What is going on here? Why do y'all need a collider that goes through 17 countries? So what we need to see here is they're setting up the beams, right? And we have an enabled status here. This has been off since October. They're about to start running this again. You know, the good guys that I know tell me it's our force field. Since we're losing our atmosphere, that they turn this thing on as a fake atmosphere. Now, of course, I don't believe any of that shit, right? Show me the science. Show me the proof. All right, we just had today 2 big-ass flares, right? We just had another one, by the way. 2 big-ass flares. I'm going to update this. And I'm very worried that we're going to have a geomagnetic storm any second now, okay? Any second now. I want y'all to share my videos, please. So important, y'all. Help me share them. Especially with YouTube beating me down like I'm some kind of dead horse, right? We saw that, I believe it was a 5.61. And then we'll take a look at this latest M flare and see where it came from. But this is a bumpy ride, especially since they're claiming this X1 has been causing, and that was on the 28th. Today is the 2nd. We're already on the 2nd. See here? 2nd. That's 7 p.m. Central here, the 2nd. They're claiming that this little X flare here that was partially or mostly eclipsed by the sun is causing both a solar storm, a proton storm, an electron storm, a polar cap absorption event, etc., etc., etc. What I can't believe is they sent the astronauts into a polar cap absorption event. If y'all don't realize this, our poles are not protected by the Van Allen belts. They emulate or start at the poles, and they go out and protect Earth. There's 3 of them that we know about now. There was 1 of them, then 2, now there's 3. and the radiation, and extremely intense radiation, and the only way that radiation, can get into and affect creatures on Earth are to sneak through the holes in the poles. The holes in the poles. So we'll take a look at these last two events here. And that's going to be the M2.4 that we just saw. Now, this is a Delta class sunspot group. See how red it is? It's not orange, it's red. That's 4048. We'll look at that. And 4046 is the other one that we're interested in that produced an M5.6. Now, 4046 is the sunspot that produced the X 1.12, whatever they call it. I believe it was probably an X 5 or 6, but no way for me to prove it, right? So we were doing 2 million volts into me and you all day today. Did y'all have any problems waking up, sleeping? This was mostly last night and then into the morning. Y'all should have been 2 million volts of electricity. That's what this says. You have to read the charts the right way, right? MEV. Space weather, 1 million volts is right here. 2 million volts is right here. So we had a long period of time with 2 million volts. It looks like 6 to 8 hours. 2 million volts. We're still in over 10 million volts of electricity hitting Earth. It broke through all the shields y'all thought were going to happen. Y'all are still absorbing that. If y'all don't feel quite right, it's because 10 million volts of electricity is a bad scene, okay? A very bad scene. We should never be subjected to that. Never. And look at this. This is even crazier. I'm looking for something coming up the backside. All of a sudden, over the last hour or two, and we will together look at the backside of our planet here, but look at this. The electron count, because we're also in an electron storm, right? The electron count just bellied up and went to zero. Went to zero. Right, it drains your energy, I guess is the best way to say it, right? Look at this. Let's see if we can get a... See if we can get... See, I can see that those winds are... Well, that looks like it's still hitting us from the front. Let's check it out. I haven't seen it yet. If we stop seeing our... Well, let's watch. Well, we are getting hit the entire time here with a bow shock. We should really check that out. This is where we are right now with our polar cap absorption event. This is all the radiation that's ionized pouring in the poles. It's great for you. Get out and enjoy some northern and Australia borealis lights. I mean, can you ask for any more than pure radiation? I think it's so funny that they have tours to have you radiated. Y'all pay us like $1,000. We'll get y'all in the thick of the radiation. Does that sound good? Does that sound good? Yes, I'm in completely. I'm 1,000 times in. Can't go that slow, can we? So this is not letting up anytime soon. Doesn't look like it's letting up anytime soon. That's the ionized radiation coming in the hole in our North Pole and our South Pole. Period. Right, moving along. There is 446 where the X 1.1, and then 448. Look at this thing, man. It's going to be one of the biggest sunspot groups that we've seen during this cycle, during the entire 11-year cycle. Okay? Everything else is a simple sunspot. Although we saw a simple sunspot, this was simple when it produced an X-class flare the other day. So now since it's orange, we know it's beta gamma. Since it's red here, we know this is beta delta gamma, or for short, it's a delta class sunspot, right? And it's not quite Earth facing, but the next 5 or 6 days, there's a huge chance that we'll have an X flare come from 4048, and it could be something that y'all are not expecting here. We know the powers that be are expecting it, but I want y'all to know, see the white over black? That's called reverse polarity. See the black over white? Shit, most of this is reverse polarity, really. Let me tell you how it's supposed to work. In the northern hemisphere, white positive should always be over black. White positive should always be over black. White positive should always be over black. In the southern hemisphere, black should always be over white. Black, it's questionable, should always be over white. So that's how normal polarization occurs on our sun. When you have a reverse polarity sunspot, it's much, much more dangerous than just having a sunspot. All right, look at this. You really can't see it until you hit 284 angstroms. And look at that. Huge, very thick, well, we call it missing canopy. The sun has a coronal hole. It looks like 2 eyes, doesn't it? 2 eyes, a nose. Well, let me just tell you guys, those don't show up anywhere, but we should see an uptick. And I'm going to give you the exact hour. 50 hours from now, an uptick in solar winds up over 600 kilometers per second. But that's not going to matter because we're about to have a huge flare out of this sunspot right here, or 4846, the beta gamma. But I'm pretty sure the delta class sunspot's going to come through this time. It's just too ugly not to. It's just too ugly not to. Okay. Look at that thing. Probably 15 Earths can fit in there. Now, that's been the bad boy, but gosh, that doesn't even look like trouble, right? And there's a very good chance that 4049 is right now currently morphing into a complex sunspot. Now, we're supposedly at the top of an 11-year solar cycle, right? And regularly the top lasts about 18 months. We've seen nothing but very light solar flaring. Very light solar flaring. It just doesn't make sense to me. I thought they had turned off a lot of the equipment. Maybe they've decided to turn it back on. Maybe the sun was taking a break. But what we do see here is that, well, with all the radiation charging the poles, expect more volcanic activity and more earthquake activity than we've probably seen in some time, right? Again, we just had a 6.3 on the southern Pacific Rim. So, and I should have reported that, but we did not report that. Well, me and you did, but... Alright, guys. I want to run LASCO for you guys one time. We're going to check a few things out before we go, but I don't have my studio right now. I'm working from the couch. It's crazy. So this is what I wanted to show y'all. First up, there's this, okay? The hell is that, James? It's huge. And then look, it just disappears, right? Doesn't come, but wait, it gets worse, much worse. Then James happened to notice that at 10:06, 10:30? There it is. At 11:06, they killed the feed. Now, there wasn't supposed to be anything happening at that time period. 11:06. They killed the feed for 3 hours and 12 minutes. It's a good long kill, and you can see that there's a huge difference. A lot of plasma is spread out around the solar system during that 3 hour and 12-minute time period. Why would they do that? Well, they're slimy as all F. Can we say that? Gonna get away with that? See if there's anything else that we missed in here. I really didn't go over it with a fine-tooth comb like I should have after I saw that gap. I'm figuring that they're taking the time to hide anything they need to hide. So me going over it, when they take 3 or 4 hours out like that, just blatantly until you go F yourself, well, you can be assured you should go F yourself, because you're not gonna see what occurred during any of those time periods. Alright, so tonight we're limited. We can't listen to other people's speeches. It just won't sound right. It's my apologies. Tomorrow we'll be plugged back in. Another $500 chair. My dad said, "How much do you weigh now?" I said, "I weigh 245 pounds. The weight limit on the damn chair was 300 pounds. What I was doing is I was leaning real hard forward on it. Shoosh. If y'all go listen to the beginning of last night's program, y'all can hear the chair break. It's a $500 chair. It weighed about 100 pounds. I had to have some help to get it to the dumpster out there. Let's see if there's anything important. The real Ethiopian Bible. That's the one we need. Uh-oh. Better get Mako. Well, with that said, lots of love, guys. We're going to get all the equipment back in order. Things can always happen. I think we did a pretty good job today based on what we were dealing with. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I beg y'all, especially times like this when I'm dealing with equipment failure, I'm dealing with shadow banning, I'm dealing with all this crap, to please help by finding one video. If it's the gun that was snuck into the Capitol by that hard-leaning left jackass, his assistant. I mean, that is, no one knows about that. It didn't hit Fox. It didn't hit anybody. So anything y'all can do is greatly appreciated. We'll be back with sound, scene, and all the rest tomorrow. Lots and lots of love. Love you guys. You'll have a great evening. And hey, enjoy your radioactive dose of radioactivity, because they ain't going nowhere. You being fried, like YouTube told me I couldn't tell y'all that y'all are being fried like an egg. I said, wait, that's 20 million volts of electricity. Aren't they being fried like an egg? Aren't they being fried like an egg? They told me that, and they didn't give me a strike. They told me that I was creating fear in the public. It's illegal for me to tell the truth if it creates fear in the public. Well, 20 million volts of electricity going through my body, since my heart is electric and we're electrical beings, and every time I move my hand, it's an electrical signal sent from my brain down through my tendons and muscles to move my mouse here, right? Now, I think it's a big deal when you've got 20 million extra volts, or 25 million extra volts, I guess. Maybe it's just me. Y'all do get ready for a very large flare here. Inbound, get ready for no electricity. No electricity. It's a done deal here, okay? It looks like 4049 and 446 are going to wallop Earth we've never been hit by an X10, X20, X40 flare. They say the Carrington event was an X40 flare. It burned the actual telegraph poles to the ground. Now, if you would have been outside, I don't know. I mean, most of us wear rubber shoes. I guess that's enough. I don't know. They could send, during the Carrington event, they could send electronic transmissions through the air with no cables. All of the equipment worked without using cables. There was so much electricity in the air. All the telegraph equipment worked for a day and a half without cables. But in the same instance, telegraph offices caught on fire all around this country and Canada and other countries. So y'all get ready. I'm not sure which way we're going to go here, but it's going to be severe. And if you use my 3,600 year timeline that I got from looking at cores, because remember, I'm a driller. Everyone thought I was worried about oil and gas when I demanded to look at the core, since I'm the CEO, or was CEO for 35 years. I was looking for the ash and how much distance between the ash periods there were. I didn't tell anyone what I was doing, but that's what I was doing. So y'all get ready to rumble. A lot of people will survive. By a lot of people, I mean less than 1%. Still a lot of people. I believe we've been here many times before. We're probably more technologically advanced several times. I believe that most of the ships that we back engineer, I don't believe it, I know it, were found in, geological digs, right? Digs. And they've been covered up. And these are our past humans that had gotten a few thousand years ahead of us. And we've been trying to back engineer technology that humans made thousands, if not tens of thousands of years ago. Remember, the Earth's 4.4 billion years old, or so they say. So the chances of us getting to this point, plus 1,000 years, without getting hit by a rock or something, are huge. Huge. So archaeological digs, and if you really listen to what everyone's telling y'all, they're going to tell you all the truth, because that's all they can do. That's what they're back engineering. Not alien ships. It's humans that were able to make it much further technologically than we might make it. It just depends. I mean, we're stealing, so that helps, right? That helps. But in the same instance, we're to the end of the cycle. And we didn't do very well. Just FYI, we didn't do very well this cycle. Shit, we had trains 100 years ago, right? As far as we made it in 3,600 years. There's been other 3,600 year periods that have done much better. Much better. And I blame Tiffany Hartman. No, I'm kidding. I said 1%. That's a lot. That's 8 million people. I tried to blame you for the whole thing, Tiffany. Didn't you hear me? I mean, come on. What else do you want me to do here? I want to give it up to all you guys. Thanks for joining us. I want to, just remember, if everything goes bad from here out, it's Tiffany Hartman's fault. No, it's nobody's fault, guys. I'm just teasing her. It's already been written. It's already happened. Everything that we're living out right now has actually already happened. So have faith, and you can actually bounce over to a better timeline if you have faith. And if you believe, it becomes true, right? You can actually manifest yourself into a better reality and future than you could ever imagine. And that is a fact. Thank y'all. God bless. Share, subscribe. Tiffany Hartman, behave. Love you, girl. And y'all have a wonderful evening.